Hey kiddos, for today's activity we're going to make a clay duck, and to make our duck we're going to need a few different colors of clay and some other supplies. More specifically, we're going to need green clay for his body, orange clay for his little feet and for his beak, some white clay for his eyes, a black marker, a pencil, as well as a spatula, which will help you with your clay, and a little piece of carton which will help you cut out the clay. Also, if you don't have the same colors as me for your clay, you can use whatever you want. Okay, great. So now we're going to make the body of our duck. So take your green clay, and we're going to separate it out into a few pieces. So first we're going to focus on the bigger part of his body. So take a kind of a circle, pull it apart. So now we have 3 balls. We're going to focus on our biggest one, which is going to be the lower part of his body, and roll it around in your hands so the clay can start to get kind of supple. And what it's going to look like ultimately is like a circle, but kind of pointed up towards the top, so more like the shape of a pear. So keep squeezing it back and forth between your hands to make it nice and soft. And then you can kind of use the palm of your hand to flatten it on the bottom so it stays really nice and flat on your desk and it doesn't go rolling off. Use your desk to make the edges a little bit rounder and softer. And then press it using your fingers to make the details much smoother. Great. So now our little duck body is ready to go. All right, nice and perfect. He looks pretty sturdy there. So now we're going to take our smaller ball here and we're going to rub him around and we're going to make his little neck almost. A little too much clay there. So take a small ball basically, and once you've rubbed it around, nice and round, we're going to take him here and we're going to use our spatula to flatten him out. So use the wide part of the spatula and press it. You can also use the top of your clay lid. Press down into the clay, and it's going to look like a little candy. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make the edges nice and round and pop it right on top of the duck's body. So now he has a little neck. Press down on it so it combines with the body. Great. Now we're going to take some orange, and we're going to make our duck beak, among some other accessories. So roll around the dough in your hands to make it nice and supple. I feel like when dough has the heat of your hands, it kind of makes it easier to utilize. Okay, great. So now we're going to make a pancake. So just flatten it out with your fingers. Nice and easy. Make sure it's kind of the same width all throughout the pancake. There's not one area that's too skinny. Take your rolling pin and roll right through your pancake. Just roll. Don't apply too much pressure. We don't want the clay to break. You can roll in all different directions. But the goal is really that we have the same width of clay throughout the entire pancake. Like a nice little cute circle. Like pumpkin pancakes, basically. Great. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our colored pencil. Take the pointy part of our colored pencil, and within the clay, we're going to draw the shapes that we need. So the first thing we're going to draw is his little feet. So you're almost going to do like an L. So you have a rectangle, and up top, you're going to have like a reversed triangle. So you see you have a rectangle that opens up and your triangle up top. Perfect. We're going to do the exact same thing on the other side of our pancake. So draw your rectangle, close it up, and then do your reversed triangle at the bottom. Great. So now that you've drawn the shapes for his little feet, we're going to take our cardboard and we're going to cut into the shapes. So just take the edge of your cardboard and drag it right into the drawing that we've done. Right alongside. On the other side of your rectangle. And just cut right into there. On every single side of either little duck foot. So on the second one as well, just drag it. Perfect. Cut into either side, up top. And now what we can do is it's going to be really easy. Just pull the clay apart and it's going to take away the scraps. So the only thing that we want left is the rectangle in the middle with the little triangle. So pull it all away. Let's put our scraps back into the clay bucket. So you can see we need a little bit of cleaning up here, so we can use the cardboard. And you can always cut again and perfect the shapes. Awesome. So now we have our 2 duck feet. And as you can see, they're not perfect sized, so we can always go back and even everything out later. So use your fingers to make them nice and round. A little evening out. Press it. So it looks a little bit softer. Great. So now take each foot, you're going to fold it over, and then on the foldy part, where my finger is right there, you're going to press it up against the duck's body. Boom. Same thing. Second leg, fold it over, press over his little foot, and press the folded part into the duck's body. Oh, they got to be the same height, so you can always go back and fix it. Great. Now we can take our little cardboard, and we're going to cut into the foot to make his toes. So you can make these little triangles basically in his toes. So your duck is going to look really realistic. All right, so now that his body is done, we need to make some wings because ducks need to fly. So we're going to take our green dough, roll it around a little bit, and we're going to make another pancake. So just like before, take your rolling pin, roll it around, flip it over. It needs to be kind of pretty evenly, widthed throughout the pancake. So same thing, we're going to take our colored pencil and we're going to draw our wings. So if you're not an amazing drawer, don't worry. We can make it a little bit less detailed than what I'm about to show you. So take your pencil. We're going to do it one more time here. Take your pencil. We're going to make kind of a rectangle like the first one, but it's going to go out a little bit fatter. And then here you're going to have the little feathers. So it almost looks like a giant paw. So same thing. It's like a rectangle that goes out a little bit more towards the end. And then if you're a good drawer, feel free to make those little feathers. Perfect. So once you've drawn your wings, we're going to take our cardboard again, and we're going to cut out around the wings. And again, maybe this is a little bit too much detail. That's okay. Cut out around exactly where you've drawn. If you take the pointy part of the cardboard, it's going to be a lot easier to get into the little nooks and crannies. So you're basically following the exact line that you've drawn on every single side, on the bottom, on the left, on the right. And just take your dough. You can push your shapes into the dough. So, oh la la, let's use our little cardboard. Let's make sure he's nice and de-stuck. Push him. Great. So we can always clean this up a little bit later, like now. So we're going to take him, we're going to press him around so he looks a little bit more realistic, and use our cardboard here, and it's a bit easier to cut out his feathers now. So I'm making 2 tiny triangles and then putting the scraps back in my other dough box. So here we're going to press Make an even shape to the other duck wing. Take our cardboard and same thing, 2 little triangles. So here we've got some feathers. Remove the little triangle scraps and put them away. Great. So now we have our duck wings. Pop them on either side of the duck. Push him into the clay. So the wing clay should basically combine with his body clay. Great. And now we have to make his head. So take that smaller ball, push him around. So he's kind of like a circle, but he's a little bit taller. Like a triangle, basically. A triangle with smushy sides. And we're going to attach him to the body. So make your triangle, use your fingers to push. So your palm is going to be really good to make flat sides. So you can pretty much push the triangle on either side of your palm. And put the fat part of the triangle on the bottom where his neck is. So the pointy part should be pointed towards the sky. And press down so it connects to his body. Okay, great. So now we're going to do his face. So all ducks have a little beak. So we're going to have his beak be the same color as his feet. So take some of your orange clay and rub it around with your fingers to make a long line. Keep rubbing it through. Again, we want all of the clay to be dispersed evenly throughout the line. It needs to be a little bit shorter than this, so just take your cardboard and chop it. So here we have a really nice looking piece of clay. Then we're going to take a slightly smaller piece, which we're going to use to make his beak. So it's going to be like a tiny triangle that we're going to connect to that long line. So to make his triangle, you're going to make a little fold here with your orange clay and press it into your fingers and then directly into this orange line of clay, right in the middle. So you can see it looks like his beak is connected. Great. And now we need to make him a little mouth, which is actually going to be connected to his beak. So take a little piece of white clay, and you're going to make a tiny kind of little long cylinder. Use your finger. Perfect. It should almost look like a little piece of candy, and it's going to go right underneath the beak. So you've lifted up the orange line. You're going to use the longer parts of the beak, and it's going to wrap around. You're going to chop off the extra that you don't need and have the orange lining wrap around the little white mouth and connect it using your fingers. So here we have your beak up top. It's a little white mouth, and the orange is wrapped around its mouth. So this little duck has teeth. Now he needs eyes. So we're going to make him some eyes. Take 2 little balls. One is going to be white and one is going to be green. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. So keep making your tiny little balls. They should be of even size between the green and the white. Keep rolling so the shapes are really nice and even. So now once they're down, you're going to use your cardboard and you're going to chop the eyes in half. We're making special duck eyes here. So chop and chop on the green one. Perfect. Make sure that you have both halves. And what we're going to do is we're going to mix and match. Put 1/2 of the white circle with 1/2 of the green circle. And then the other for the 2 other halves that are left together. And make sure to put the flat parts of the circles together. Push them slightly so that they combine. And then you're going to put the eyes right up against the duck's face with the green up top and the white towards the bottom and press into the triangle. Great. Our duck is almost done. He's just missing 2 little black dots with your black marker in the white part of his eye. And he needs a little bit more furry, I think. A little duck feathers on his butt and a little bit on his head. So let's use our orange. And we're going to roll some of those feathers into like a little spaghetti shape. So take your dough, keep rolling, rolling, rolling. Again, you don't want your dough to break. So when you're rolling, focus your fingers where the dough looks the fattest. And then we're going to chop off the fat bits and make tons of little mini spaghettis. So take 2, press them together in the middle, fold them, and add them to the top of his head. Same thing. Now we're going to add 3, put them together, fold them, push them so they attach to his little butt. And now we're going to add another to his little collar here. Wrap it around, pinch it. Wow, he looks like a great duck. Good job, you guys. So kiddos, here's our dynamite clay duck. I hope you had a really fun time making it. I know I did. And that you're happy with how he turned out. I'd love to see your artwork, so please send it to me on tutokid.com with the help of your parents. Hope to see you soon.